Hi, so I just got a query about how do I fill out my application form for a job at the UN when I've been doing missionary work. I was a church leader giving sermons. What was the terminology she used? Not preaching, but so I haven't prepared anything here. There's a lot I could do, and I'm just recording my so that was it. I don't have to put it away. I'm applying for several UN jobs, but the last job I had was national leader of FFWPU, and they asked me what were my responsibilities there. Obviously, one of my responsibilities was to carry on Sunday service and teach doctrine. Would you recommend I skip those parts of the job, or on the contrary, that will help? Well, it depends. Some people are prejudiced, and we need to be careful. So, my recommendation for her was you need to describe your activities in suitable language. Leadership, mentoring, teaching, guidance, and counseling are very important soft skills, right? So that made me think about my job application and what actually appears um, in my records. And I remember when of course, at the end, I want to show you the video of my farewell that my boss praised me as a missionary and said that I saved them. And I just wanted to check what were actually my uh, references, if I can show you some of the things, how far the records go. I think I have to prepare this. This isn't going to work just by going and looking spontaneously online. Okay, I'm going to look for what my job applications, or perhaps it's even there. Maybe it's still on the website. So I can't even remember what is it. Okay, I'll go the un.org and vacancy English. Okay. And then, of course, you can't see this because I haven't shared my screen yet. Okay, I could share my screen. All right, all right, all right. Because what else? So screen one. Right, okay, share. Good. So I've gone to the un.org, and then I've gone to English and vacancies or jobs or employment. Okay, so this doesn't take me to all the jobs. We have no open positions, please check the page regularly for vacancies. Okay, that's just okay. This was a word search, right? So this is looking for words with vacancies on the careers is another one. But I think usually, yes, okay. So what you need to do, usually it's on the bottom here. Not anymore, okay. But anyhow, here we see careers. So we go to careers. Welcome to the UN careers website. Even though when I was working at the UN, they said it's not a career employer. They've changed some things since the time I was working there. That's already 10 years? No, 5 years, 6 years. Work for the United Nations. And I want to get to the um, vacancies. There's consultants. This is the types of jobs. You can have a consultancy, which means you have to pay your own health insurance and taxation. Internships, typically not paid, but at the IAEA, 1,000 a month to cover your living costs. Volunteer opportunities, but I saw that the UN volunteer also pays, and then the UN family of organizations. So actually wanted to go to the IAEA to my job search and see we don't come up. We are here. Okay. I'll go straight here because that's where I want to find my particular file, if I can find it. Apply. Vacancy internships and pipelines. That's basically the situation, that they have pipelines, and that's how I joined. You have to fill out your information, and when you my job page or my profile, can I my job page. Okay, these are the jobs that I've applied for or was planning to apply for in the past. And what I wanted to look at, my job card, my saved searches, candidate profile, access my profile. Here I am. Good. So this is where I thought it would have a record of the answers that I have had in the past, and I have to answer it all again. General questions, profile, and looks like I can't go through until I go further. Employment record. Okay, so good. All right, so this is my employment record on file, and it has to go backwards. So this is the last job that I had at the UN, and the description and duty, not the last one. This is the last one before I got the last one, the second last one, because I haven't filled in the last one. Does it say how long it was? Reason for leaving, 2-year temporary assistance contract expires 1st of May 2019. And then okay, 19. Then I worked until, then I had that extension until the end of June. All right. So I wanted to go to what did I put for my, okay, this is my jobs, the IEA self-employed. And it was also hairy. I didn't know what should I put for some of my jobs. This was already a paid job in Vienna for another NGO. This was when I was self-employed as an English teacher. This was as I was an admin assistant in an educational institution. And this was the first job that I got after the 10 years at home with my kids when I was supporting my husband. But I included that 1990 to 1999, my husband was my employer, and the description of my duties: maintain customer database, data input, and my achievements. So I taught my husband how to use the PC basically at that time. And we go back. Here was 89 to 90 when I first came to Austria, and I did a few 7-day workshops. So I put that here. So I was officially a reception, guest registration, general office, Girl Friday. I was responsible at one stage for the washing the dishes in the kitchen, and then later on for the laundry. I was taking care of children, and I was teaching workshops when we had workshops in English. So character and principal education is what I put here. And before that was when I was in America, and I called it volunteer work. You have to put how much you earned at each time. Total annual net income after deduction of tax. So this work in America was voluntary for interdenominational conferences for clergy, ICC. So I put that total annual income was $1. The description of duties: public relations, visiting ministers of all religions and denominations, conference organization, organizing conferences and meetings, inviting guests, distributing videos, educational program, accounting and bookkeeping. I did all the accounting in our church center in Oregon at that time. We had breakfast meetings, community management, facility. I was the mother of the center, and I did all the shopping and housekeeping. And I must say I managed some funds very well, and even ironed the shirts for my church leader. Raise public awareness and tolerance among many different types of peoples, including church members. Invited American religious ministers to conferences in Korea. So this is my actual file, what I have on file at the UN for an explanation of my jobs that I was doing while I was in the church. Of course, I'm still in the church. This was also while I was in the church before I left Australia. I was a secretary for an architect. So I described those activities there: word processing, consultant, and 85, that's a few months. Okay, that was another consultancy job related to that architect's job. So that was already PR, where I had qualified as a typist. I went to Manpower and checked my typing speed and reached the minimum of 33 words and got a certification from Manpower, and then I could start applying for typing jobs. So this is related to that. While I was before that, I was fundraising to support the centre, and I was church leader. As well as being church leader in Canberra, I was doing the Professors World Peace Academy work. That was also full time, but it was non-profit. So again, total annual income, $1 Australian. Conference organisation, organised second and third annual interdisciplinary approaches to peace conferences, filmed the first interdisciplinary approaches to peace conference in Sydney, published the first and second conference proceedings, distributed first and second conference proceedings. So we actually sent it to all the politicians. Public relations, office management, bookkeeping, fundraising, training, supervision, and my achievements: effective public relations and community consciousness building, maintaining professional relationships with academics, politicians, media, and convention centre management. Well, this is a story of its own. When we had the conference, the second conference at Coralban Valley in Queensland, and some people from the media came and wanted to destroy our conference and badmouth us to all of the participants. We had 45 speakers at that conference, and I managed, with good relationships with the hotel management, that they kicked out those reporters who had no right to be there, and they were protecting us because we were the paid customers. So that was a very good experience. Secured professional support from convention centre management when bad press threatened to jeopardize the conference. That's how I express that. And then 82 to 84, so that was 10, so that was after the blessing. So first I was in Wollongong pioneering, and then I was in Tasmania pioneering. So, okay, this was when I was a pioneer missionary, and I was fundraising with metal etchings. So my employer was Happy Prince, that's the name of the company in Australia. My job was sales and marketing. Work location, Wollongong, Hobart, and Canberra. So that was the time. It started off in Wollongong until Christmas, and then I was in Hobart for 84, and then after that I went to Canberra, but I was in Canberra for a short period in the summer when they asked me to also support the Professors World Peace Academy Conference. So exact title, salesperson. And so this was the income I had to put. That was basically what I fundraised. So promotion, display, order, distribute, sales, metal etchings, laser prints and frames for pictures via direct marketing, and occasional market stand in Wollongong, New South Wales, and also Tasmania and Canberra. So achievements, I produced a catalogue of pictures and frames for display and ordering purposes, streamlined the ordering procedure and shipment schedule, organised and executed sales trip around Tasmania. Yeah, with a colleague, we drove around the island and sold our metal etchings. That was fun. So 97 to 82 was when I was working for One World Enterprises. It started off fundraising with ginseng door to door, and then working in the office and selling ginseng wholesale. So that's why retail and wholesale. Work location was Melbourne first, and then I was actually in Canberra. Have I got Canberra there as well? Or maybe that was after that. Okay, so in Adelaide, Melbourne. Let me just read through what I actually wrote. company manager. I was company manager in Adelaide and in Canberra. And actually, I was a representative of the company in Melbourne as well. They registered the company when I joined the church in 75. Company manager, wholesale sales to health food stores, pharmacies and Chinese groceries and restaurants in Sydney, New South Wales, Queensland, because I did a sales trip up to Queensland, Canberra, ACT, and Adelaide, South Australia. Bookkeeping, accounting, office management, sales, retail sales, sales team management, because I was the MFT mother, training and coordination. So often the MFT team would break into a satellite team, and I would be responsible for half of the MFT team. So the achievements, streamlined national accounting system, that's a fact. So that's when I was already responsible for the bookkeeping for One World Enterprises and HSA UWC for the whole nation. And I set up a system where we didn't just use a petty cash box, but recorded everything that we did. That's what I introduced into the Australian church. So there's some documentation about some of that. And 75 August is when I joined the church, and non-profit, so I put $1 just because I think you can't put zero here. And here I wrote missionary. So that's why when I left my job, when I finished working at the IAEA, my supervisor knew that I was a missionary because here I did have the title missionary. After that, I relanguaged everything that I did. I was a missionary from this time, from the 8th of August, 1975. And after that, when I was working in paid jobs or fundraising or leading a team or a center, when I became a company manager, I was registered by the company's office by the registration as a company office. Even here, when I joined the church, I was already registered as a representative of WFWP didn't exist, of HSA UWC, FLF, FWPU, and OWE One World Enterprises. So I became the executive member so that they could register these organizations. So the employer here, HSA UWC, Holy Spirit Association for the Unification of World Christianity, Missionary. Workshops. When I first joined, I was responsible for weekend workshops, which involved physical catering, meeting organization, MC travel arrangements, moderation and coordination. Trainer. I was asked to lead a center, and this included company representation, wholesale sales, corporate leadership, as well as training and supervising young missionary members. So this already started as soon as I joined the church, there was already the corporate and business activities were there, but I called it all missionary because I had a 40-year period to cover to justify my existence of applying for a job at the age of 55. And so I had to tell them everything I had done since I started working. So I put 10 years as a missionary, and all the rest I explained in ordinary terms. So joined fledgling unification movement as 21st member, trained fundraisers and led team, contributed to establishment of corporate business entity, and initiated separation of church and business accounting, as well as local and national corporate bodies, represented movement on television, which I'd love to still get a copy of that. I hope Alan Smith has got a copy of it, and did interview for newspaper article, established public credibility at a time when media persecution was extreme through public office in other reputable organizations. So that's what I wanted to share with you, and I hope that encourages you. And this to be continued.